I'm working on that long thing, but I don't like what's happening with it, so I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to work through it, and, then probably in 2 weeks, whether I like it or not, I'll read it anyway. And then you guys cannot like it too. How about that? Okay. And I'm going to. All right, I guess. So I want to hog all the time. I'm going to read this. This is like from a journal, and I kind of liked it. It's 2 pages, so it's more like a story, but really it's like from a journal thing I get. And I was going to call it something about subprime journal entry, because it's about my subprime loan. Because who was going to give me a house? Anyway, so we had this crook of a mortgage guy. When he looked at my credit rating in 2001 and says, "Oh, I think we can work something out." Man, did I know he was working something out? And then when I said I couldn't find my W-2s, he said, "Oh, don't worry about that. We'll get that later." But this was actually interesting to me about the appraisal. So I'll just call it the appraisal. I was worried about the appraisal. I thought everything in the house had to be perfect, so I cleaned up the yard, put 2 tons of old clothes in plastic bags, piled them in the shed, vacuumed and deodorized the carpet. I was still cleaning when the appraiser arrived. They said, "I tried to get home early enough from work to straighten out the house. Please excuse the mess." He said, "You get no points for housekeeping. I'm just here to take some measurements, check the structure and condition of this fine house." His remarks stopped my inner tremors, and I offered my assistance by holding the measuring tape hook in place while he stretched the tape from one end of the house to the other. He laughed and said, "In 15 minutes, I'll have you trained." I laughed in return and said, "All right." We sat at the dining room table, and he asked, "Tell me again, why are you getting this appraisal?" I told him again how this house was my parents' house and how I wanted to buy my brother's and sister's share. I told him I wanted to own all the house, and my siblings had agreed on a price. "I understand," he said. "I've been there." We sat there for a while and talked. He told me how he leased his house and moved into his father's house. He said his father was 81 years old and needed someone to take care of him. He told me about his daughter's murder 2 years before. She came home from work, he said, and he was hiding in the house, hacked her to bits. I said I was sorry. He said, "Thank you," and continued. He's just been released, served 8 months. He asked about the upright in the dining room. I told him it was a turn-of-the-century player piano. Does it still work? The player part doesn't. Never has since my dad bought it from a friend 30 years ago. But I taught myself how to play on it, and I've been playing ever since. You play the piano? Blues piano. No shit, I love the blues. I love blues piano. Where do you play? I told him I would let him know the next time I played nearby, and he said, "Do that. I got to be going. I got 5 more houses to appraise. Your house, well, I can't say so for sure, because nothing is for sure, but I can say I see nothing preventing your house from being appraised at the amount you need it appraised at." Catch my drift? I caught it easy, and I recommitted myself to call him next time I was hired to play blues piano. "You do that," he said, "and I'll bring a crowd to see you." "Pleasure meeting you," I said. "Pleasure's mine," he shouted just before he shut the door of his Volvo, cranked the engine, and waved goodbye.
The lone guy's brother? Was it the lone guy's brother?
No, but yeah, I think they were very, very well acquainted.
Shiesty realtor?
Yeah. Of course, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have done that.